unarmed wallpaper hanger in a wallpaper hanging contest, something like that. It's like, there's not enough arms to do all the things I need to do. This is crazy, the things that are all hitting at the same time. But anyway, we almost didn't fit you in here today. But Andrew, talk about gold and silver and anything else that's on your heart.
Yeah, it seems like gold is being taken more serious by the world than it has been in previous years. So, what I mean by that is that it seems like the people that were investing in gold for years and years are the preppers, the people that feel that the sky is falling and this is where I'm going to be safe. But for over the past 4 years, it's not really been that too much. And then now there have been a couple of news items here over the last week and a half that are really showing that the world is ready to understand the true value of gold. And that
I'm looking forward to hearing that. I didn't know.
Yeah. So it started on May 16th of last week when Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit rating to it downgraded it. So it's official. The U.S. credit rating is no longer the top credit rating in the world.
Wow.
So the dollar has been hit really, really hard.
I mean, like just in a nutshell, you and I never lived in a time when they weren't the top, right? Have we?
Exactly. We've always been the top, and it's like the S&P downgraded us years ago, and one of the other companies out there that tracked this stuff downgraded us, but Moody's was the one that still had us on top. And what this means is that if this was personal finance, this is the moment of truth where you're just like, okay, all right, I have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to file for bankruptcy, and I'm going to have a new beginning. And but for the United States, they're not going to file for bankruptcy. What we are going to do is we're going to have to back the dollar by something real. And even earlier today, Steve, I had the person at Chase Bank that's my personal banker for the company. He texted me a picture of what he was looking at on television, and it said Governor DeSantis in Florida, it now recognizes gold and silver as currency. And
wow. Yeah, that's huge.
It is. So this is a story that's been going around for a couple of weeks now. Wow. It's not just Florida, but it's also New Orleans and about 30 other states.
Yeah. So and now, when you said they're going to suddenly have to do something they haven't done before, or for a long time, they backed something by gold. Instead of filing bankruptcy, they have that choice. To me, it was shocking to learn that we had a choice. We had a choice. We could do something so amazing and incredible that we take the gold that we already had, plus the gold that Trump went and got that was stolen from us, and we use that to back new printed money that looks completely different, but it's dollars.
Yeah.
And now it's backed by gold, and now the economy begins to come roaring back or something. Maybe I'm oversimplifying that.
I believe that will happen. It will also include what we've talked about in the past, which would include a revaluation of gold, not just in the United States, but all across the world.
Yeah.
That's where gold will start to back currency. It will start probably here in America and then spread to the other countries. And this could make gold go up over $10,000 an ounce, which would bring the price of silver up considerably. And another piece of news, Steve, that's hit recently is that at Basel III, they've actually set something in motion where starting July 1st, gold will now be moved from a third tier asset to a tier 1 asset. And what that means is that currently when banks have to report what their cash reserves are, usually they count debt that they have from other countries that they're receiving payments on and any cash that they have on hand. But the gold has only been counted at 50%. And now it's going to be counted at 100% of the market value. This is designed to make the banks look like they're in a stronger position. And I think this is going to push the precious metals higher. Exactly that.
Well, and doesn't again, you and I didn't pre-talk about this. I don't even know if these questions are relevant, but doesn't Trump, or any president, I don't just mean Trump, but I mean in this case Trump, doesn't he have the right to revalue gold at whatever he says it's worth to some degree?
He can do that, and I believe that what we're trying to do is peg that to the national debt.
Okay.
To at some degree kind of offset what we're losing there, because the whole reason why we're being downgraded by Moody's is because the interest on the national debt is starting to become so large that it's almost about to be higher than what we spend on our military forces. So what we spend in defense is about to be less than what we're paying in interest on the interest. 36 trillion in deficit. It's not working. There has to be a reset. These are the things that happen before.
Something has to completely give. Yeah, you put it in human financial terms, in your home, your household thing. If you got a bunch of credit cards, and the interest you're paying on your credit cards that are now hawked way up to their limit becomes more than what it costs for you to feed your family and live, you're going under, or you're going bankrupt, or all of the above. And this was like that, except God and in this case, I believe Trump have wise options that they can do. I'm actually as excited or more excited about this time economically than I've ever been in my entire life. Right? I mean, are you the same way?
I am, because I feel like when I was much younger, I just said, okay, the adults, they're in charge of everything. They're going to take care of us, and we're going to be provided for. And I have my faith too. And my faith still does let me know that I am provided for and that everything will end up well. But at the same time, I'm the one that's in charge of my family's finances, and I need to make proper decisions based on that. So I feel like we're in a position here as a country and possibly the whole world to actually set the ship on the right path. And
I realized the clock got away from us, Andrew. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I realized that you've got an appointment, and so do I, with the next guest. But you got to get to Amanda's show here in a minute. But let me just ask you this: is this still true that Jim Rickards has said he expects gold could go as high as $27,000 sometime in the future? I don't know how long that is. Is that still a possibility?
Yes, it is. So to break down the way that would work is, he bases it on if half of the dollars that we've printed out of thin air that are out there floating around the whole world, which we call fiat currency, but if half of those were backed by gold, that the price of 1 ounce of gold would be $27 overnight. Now, I'm not sure it'll happen overnight. I feel
27. You said $27. You mean 27?
Sorry, $27,000.
We'll make sure we're saying the same thing. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. If that was only half of it, I don't even. By the way, I got to ask this one question. I got to let you go on this. How would you even back only one half of fiat? Aren't you just saying it's all backed or none of it's backed?
You would back it all at a 50% rate, and we would be responsible as a country for having those reserves somewhere in Fort Knox or the basement of the World Trade Center, but somewhere. Gold is going to need it'll have to exist and be able to be audited. And that's why I think the central banks in the world are out there hoarding.
It's such an interesting subject. Even the whole thing, we could have a whole show on the whole World Trade Center, all the gold that was there and all that. But it's so interesting that when I began to study this and learn this, that mankind has the ability, having done away with the gold standard, to flip and bring it back if they have enough gold and it's worth enough, and then they print a new currency that's still, they call it the same thing, probably the US dollar or something very similar, the US note, and they say that is now officially back. All of a sudden, that piece of paper in your hand and the gold in your safe, all these things are worth a lot more, So really good stuff. I tell people how to contact you and ask more questions on how they can either get gold or sell gold or buy silver, or silver's. We also have always said that silver can multiply faster than gold. That's why I have more silver than even gold by quite a bit, because it can double or triple with the same dollar amount. Right? If I had 1,000 in silver and I had $1,000 in gold, my silver could could multiply faster because it could double or triple to 3,000 before this one could because it's gold.
Exactly. Those are the exact words I was going to say next. It's silver has a better chance to double or triple in price than gold does. And that's a fact. Silver should be doing way better than where it's at now. And it cannot be held down for much longer.
Yeah, which is actually good news to hear that because the longer it's held, the greater the pressure. And one day it's going to go. Okay, so look at that on the screen. ElijahStreams.com/gold. Write to Andrew. He'll give you the rep that's most like just about your age, what you want to do. You want to get your IRA or retirement moved over into gold and silver. What do you want? And what kind of questions do you have? And they'll have the right person to call you right back. So, okay, Andrew, thanks very much. I appreciate it. Sorry to keep you so long here on this one.
It's totally fine. Thanks for having me, Steve.
All right, see you later. It's time to bring on Barry White. So here's Barry. Barry, it's been so long since you and I have been here together. What's going on?
Oh, it's so good to see you again, Steve. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. So, yeah, life has been a little crazy, and I haven't been able to do as many shows probably this year. I mean, I'm still doing the majority of them, but, we went to Egypt. It took out 2 weeks.
Right.
Then we've gone, and then a lot of people don't know this, but last week we were scheduled to be in Montana, okay? I'll tell you probably don't even know this, but neither do most of our people. I'm in the process of writing my book on my life story, the whole life story, which is trauma, abuse, horrific drama, all kinds of things happening. And God has double, triple confirmed it. Not only that, but they're writing a screenplay for a movie, and a major movie maker said they would like this story.
Wow.
They have to see the script. So what they did is I was supposed to be in Montana last week, doing like 16 hours of interviews, telling my whole story to the interviewer, to the ghostwriter. Meanwhile, the script writer's there in the room too, asking his questions, and they're both doing the same work at the same time for their thing. So, but I got really sick, so I had to stay home. But we did those 16 hours from here by Zoom. So I still did as long as I was. So I was still off the air all week, but I was so exhausted by the week. But I'm telling you go through these stories, and there's trauma, and there's not so much pain anymore because that was dealt with. But it's the emotions of the experience. Kind of you live those emotions. There's about how our dad burned our house to the ground on purpose when there were 6 of us. And my mom had left for work, and she came home thinking 6 kids were burning in the house. Oh, and my dad did that. And there's this whole drama behind the story that people most have never heard. And my dad, who basically got to heaven by the skin of his teeth, he was a very, very wicked man who became a pastor while he was still wicked and not fully restored, and desperately wanting to be a holy man and still messing up, maybe not to the degree he had, but still there were signs he was in no way redeemed. There were signs. And so there's this story of trauma, abuse, forgiveness, drama, and all that. That was what I've been doing. So that's what's kind of like, it's almost taken me out. Because when I first really started unpacking the story in Egypt, I got hit with the enemy so hard. I had pneumonia by the time I got home. And then, so anyway, that was more than you ever asked for, but I thought I would just give our people an update too on what I've been doing, why I've been absent so much, and why Kelsey keeps saying, I'm in for Steve Schultz today.
Well, Steve, I can say on the back of that, it is no wonder that God has given you the gift that he has and entrusted you with his heart to carry and bring hope to the nations.
Wow.
It is no mistake when I hear that.
I know, and I keep thank you. That's very kind of you to say. I keep telling these guys we've had it triple prophetically confirmed that this is God. Then all of a sudden I'm going. This not only is a story that might be told. This is a story that must be told.
Yes.
And God has made it really clear to me, and by multiple confirmations, that my earthly father, who's now with the Lord, is praying that the story and the details of his wickedness be told far and wide throughout the earth.
Wow.
I mean, who hears that about what's going on in heaven, right?
Right.
And that's in light of the fact that my brother, there were 6 of us, they're second to the youngest of the siblings of 6. 6 months ago, stepped in front of traffic and ended his life on purpose.
Right.
And all of it stems back to my father's abuse, all of it, every bit of it.
Yeah.
And so he meets my father, earthly father in heaven, and my earthly mother, who had just gotten there a year and a half before, and he had disowned her. And God's given me revelation about the actual reunion and how it was, how beautiful it was, and all that.
Oh.
And so there's so much. And sorry I'm taking your time, but I'm using it to kind of give people sort of a bird's eye view of where's Steve been lately. How come Kelsey has to keep stepping in? That's pretty much it. So, well, listen, we better get going here. I don't want to take any more of your time, but because I know we have a little shorter time anyway, so my apologies for that. But you know what material you have and kind of our time constraints today. So let me just let you go through it, Barry, and you pick here, and I'll pick up. If you pick a certain number on the page, I might be able to find it. Other than that, I'll just listen,
Okay. Well, I think what I'll do, just in consideration of that, there's a couple words that I do feel are important. Okay. And there's one I think we can put on the back burner maybe for another time.
Okay.
But the Lord this morning, I'll just jump in here.
Yeah.
First of all, it's been like the Battle of Stalingrad for us here the last few weeks. Just the things that are unrolling and unfolding, and it's just like hand-to-hand combat. We've got stuff going on overseas, and anyway, we're getting hit left, right, and center. But the Lord woke me up this morning at early, and I think 4:48 or 4:46, something like that. And His presence was just so heavy on me, Steve. I just couldn't move.
Barry. And
those times, man, we don't take, you just can't take them for granted. And, it was His love. But then there's also was a soberness to it. And anyway, He just started to speak to me. And He said, Barry, tell my people that I know that they've already been through a lot. And that I am well aware of the battle fatigue and the toll that everything has taken on them. Barry, tell my people that they have yet to encounter the fullness of my passionate love for them.
Wow.
You've heard it said, vengeance is mine. Let me tell you that is the truth. And well, let me tell you today that the world is about to see and know my love for them in a way that they did not expect.
Wow.
Of course, you know that I love you so much that I gave my own son as a sacrifice for you and your redemption. And you must know that I love you so much that I also gave you Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That I gave this to help you, to fill you, to empower you, comfort you, and enable you to live an extraordinary life with me. Throughout history, I've poured out my Spirit in times of revival, touching my people in supernatural ways. Well, let me tell you today that what I have done in the past is really nothing compared to what I'm going to do in this hour. For what I'm about to release shall be greater than anything in time past that you've seen or experienced before. The table has been set. The ancient gates are about to be opened up. and they will be swung wide open that I, the King of Glory, can come in.
Wow.
You have never seen anything like it, I can assure you that. You have had your meetings in the past, and you've said, the glory is here, the glory is here. And I have come in a measure, but that is nothing compared to what I am about to release. For this outpouring is not going to be controlled or contained by the four walls of any building, structure, or denomination. It will shake and blow through the foundation walls and limitations of your denominations and your churches as you know them. Churches will be birthed in a day, and churches will be changed in a day. What I am about to release is, in fact, the Great Awakening. And what I'm releasing is more than revival. It is a great awakening as a reformation and a new era. The days of your self-gratifying meetings are coming to an end.
Wow.
The days of ministries lining their pockets at the expense of my people shall be a thing of the past. It will no longer be about you. It will be about me. For I am once again releasing the spirit of the fear of the Lord throughout the nations. And there is a spirit of repentance about to be released upon the earth. Men, women, children will wail and weep on the streets, highways and byways, as I overcome them with my love for them.
Wow.
They will turn and run from their wicked ways, and I shall meet with them. I will hold them, and I will heal them, and I will restore them. I will pick them up, and I will dust them off, and I will set them back on the path I've destined for them before they were born. This will also be the great and terrible day of the Lord. It will be great for most, and it will be terrible for others. For I'm coming, and I'm burning away from you all that is not of love's kind in you. It will be glorious for some and torturous for others that are bound by stubbornness and pride. I cannot deny the cries of my children for the bloodshed of the born and unborn. Let it be known that my justice shall be served, and it is my time for me to deal with those who shed the innocent blood of my children to maintain evil demonic power and agendas from the kingdom of darkness. This is coming to an end, and I'm going to finish it by my spirit. Barry, tell my people that in the same way, it is time that I break the chains of the slave masters off my people, the systems that have enslaved them with money, greed, control, thirst for power must be dealt with, and redemption and retribution must be made. Financial systems, as you have known them, are going down. The chains are being broken. It is time. Evil government regimes are wiped off the map.
Yes, Lord.
The shackles they have held you powerless and hopeless with are coming off, and they shall be held accountable for every evil act, deed, action to destroy you. Redemption and restitution shall be made to you. It is time that these evil global structures are stopped, cut off, and wiped out. And I'm breaking these ancient loop structures once and for all. And it is time for my ecclesia to stand up and take their place and govern in truth, righteousness, and justice for my name's sake. I have a move to make, and it is time for this hand to be played. So, Barry, tell my people, do not fear and do not be afraid with what is coming, for this shaking and great awakening shall expose darkness beyond anything you could have imagined. It just has to be this way. For as I overturn the hard ground, every evil and demonic structure and root shall be removed, and it is time once again to cleanse and heal the land. And once again, you shall see life come back to the land, my abundant life. Once again, you will sow and you will reap and harvest the abundance that I'm pouring out in this hour. You will no longer have lack.
Wow.
You
Wow.
you will have more than enough for every good work. And most of all, my body will walk in a unity with me and one another that seems impossible. And as you walk together, my love in you shall see the greatest harvest of souls, sons and daughters come unto me, not through religion, but through my love and my beloved union with me. And you will see nations turn to me wholeheartedly again. And you will see signs, wonders, and miracles as I pour out my spirit upon you. And you will see my glory cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. And holy is the word of the Lord.
Wow. Wow. Now, I'm following along so people know when I see that last line, I realize then that's the end of that word. So I can talk. Wow. I want to make a couple comments on it. This part here in the last page before this one, well, at least in my printout, it just says, Barry, tell my people in the same way it is time that I break the chains off of the slave masters off my people. And I started seeing that when you're reading that, I'm kind of going, oh man. These slaves who were slaves hardly even knew they were slaves. If they really knew they were slaves, if they understood to the degree they were slaves, the moment they crossed the sea, and every day after there, they would have been just praising God that they were no longer slaves. But they got right back in that mentality to take care of us. Slaves want to be taken care of. They don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Hand it to me. I'll do whatever you tell me. Just give me my food and bread and water and a place to sleep at night. That's the mentality we've had, and we don't even know as God's people. And I mean this seriously. I don't think we understand that we are in slavery in our own individual nations. Our nations are enslaving us. The nations are enslaving us. The elite globalists of the nations are enslaving us. Big pharma is enslaving us. The medical community is enslaving us. The food companies are enslaving us. The air quality people who are allowing things to be sprayed in the air are enslaving us. These are all enslavements. And we're kind of going, wow, without realizing it, we're just kind of going, as long as there's food on the table and I have a place to sleep at night, I guess I'm fine. But that's not fine.
It's not fine.
The Lord wants us out of slavery. I mean, and I don't think any of us yet knows, and this is all I'll say on this, I'll let you go on then, is what is it actually going to feel like when we're not under slavery? I don't think we have a clue how to act.
Oh, again, you hear these stories that people that do come into their freedom, they're kind of lost. And this is where, honestly, as God is bringing what he's bringing forward with us to steward, it is to basically, that old saying, he who has the gold makes the rules.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's a truth thing, man.
But I think what we're seeing happen is God posturing what's coming into the hands of righteous men and women and leaders to bring good, to bring freedom to people, to rebuild the 7 mountains the way God had intended, to come and do that hard work. And Steve, you guys have already been doing it. I mean, you're the media that you've stepped into here, and the grace that God has given you in this space, you're taking back this ground, and you're doing.
Well,
I
think you're right, but I think in some senses we're one of those ministries that are like one of the many tips of the spears. There's a lot of spears out there in ministry. We're one of the tips of the spear that we're finding a way through this thing. But at the same time, we're seeking our own freedom even more too. And to me, it makes me hungry for what do I not yet understand about to the degree I'm still enslaved.
Yeah.
Even though I'm so proud of myself, I'm telling the people how enslaved we were, and now we're going to get out of it. But we don't know what it's like to choose whether we probably even get a permit or don't get a permit in our house, because that's an enslavement that we've gotten used to. Or we don't want to dig a well because maybe we should ask somebody if we could dig a well on our own property.
Right.
I mean, that's enslavement. Or we could talk for hours. I better let you get on to your next word here, but yeah.
Well, Steve, I mean, I see that, and God's bringing, he's pouring out his spirit. Now I'm going to jump, onto the bottom of page 8.
Okay.
And now this word, Steve, I previously, I shared this, I think it was around February 28th of 24.
Okay.
I actually released this word.
Okay.
And it was basically the battle of the ages and the wealth transfer is at hand. Okay.
Good.
So
February last year. So a year and a half-ish, or give or take.
Yeah. Okay. So over the last month, I did this just thing in me, kind of percolating regarding the IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, all of these. And it was kind of, percolating in me. And anyway, so I ended up re-releasing this word, on a broadcast on the 14th of May. Okay. So just a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, I just want to comment on that for real quick.
Yeah.
I love it when prophets will do what you just did, because we've had to correct some along the way. They'd say, here, I have this word, and they would read a word that we knew they had released a year and a half ago, and they would present it as a brand new word, and finally we'd say, but you're telling us it's a new word, and they would say, well, it applies still. I said, but you haven't told us. He gave us this word. You're inferring that you just got this from the Lord. And what about the people who know you already gave it? So you handled that right. You said, this is what I had. This is when I released it first. That's just a credible thing. I'm just giving you an attaboy, if you will.
Thank you
for doing that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I really felt to share this again. So I released it a couple weeks ago, and basically we pre-recorded in the afternoon, kind of much, like things happen. And that night I had a phone call, a 1-hour briefing about this exact word.
Really?
Going into kinetic time right now. And so when
kinetic time, what do you mean by that?
That means like it's happening now.
Okay.
This word is intersecting with what's happening right now.
Okay. Wow. And did they know you? Did they know about this word? Did they know about the? Okay.
No.
Okay. Wow.
No. So with no further ado, back and then so this was February 28th, 24. Through the night, I was taken into the spirit, and I'm not sure if I was awake or if I was sleeping.
Yeah.
I was taken into an encounter, and then this is what I saw. So I was taken into the spirit, where I found myself overlooking a valley, and it was really rugged. Like it was, heavy forest, mountainous kind of terrain, really, really rugged. And I was brought in, kind of through it. And there was kind of in the side of, this one mountain, hidden and secured was an entry point into this mountain, into some tunnels, a very big tunnel. And very old. Now, it wasn't an active site, like it wasn't a base that people were coming and going from all the time.
Okay.
Like some of these are, but this was more of a remote underground storage facility. And it honestly, it felt like, in the middle of nowhere. So as I watched, this main, entry, there was a militarized special task force that was basically preparing the way for a high-level official and his team. And I watched them as they took a formation, and they kind of put a couple of rows together on the side of this road, and it kind of looked like an honor guard for those that were going to be going in to pay this site a visit. Now, behind these rows of these military folks, there was another line of rock solid defense. Now this line was much different than the first. This one was an angelic host, and I mean they were all business. I mean there was with or without the covering. I mean these things were going to get done. So anyway, it wasn't long until there was an arrival of a highly trained military team and another angelic host with these guys. Now, they had a high-level assignment, and what this was, Steve, this was that they were to get this high-level official and his team into this facility to take an inventory and an inspection of the assets that were secretly stored there for a very long time.
Can I insert just a quick comment in this too?
Yeah.
Barry, you and I have known each other, what, 3 or 4 years now, something like that, give or take?
Yeah.
And when you would first share these, I thought, I wonder what this symbolism means, and what would this mean? There's this underground thing, and then there were these people, and then there was these things. What you're describing, I now know you're describing something God showed you that is very, very, very literal in both the angelic, what you saw, and in the military people. I just want people to know this is not a symbolic dream that has its symbolic meanings. This is something God showed you.
Yes.
Okay, just want people to know that.
These guys, so they were going in and they were preparing to, see these hidden assets safely secured, protected, and removed from where it had been hidden for a very, very long time. Some for centuries, some for decades. But what had been hidden and kept in darkness was about to be brought into the light and released for the glory of God and his kingdom purposes on earth. Now this facility was big. Like underneath there, there was spaces that were 50. I'm a farm boy, so 15 to 20 acres. So that's a pretty good, pretty large areas. Now the majority of this space was storage. I mean, there was some space for operational work and a bit of office, but primarily it was just basically for the securement of these assets. Well, we were taken to another secure entry that led into this, storage facility, and these assets were being transferred into the hands of the righteous.
Whoa.
And this was the handover. The amount of wealth that was being released was staggering. The integrity of this righteous team was above and beyond.
Now, okay, I guess I'm going to, because I just said this is literal. What kind of, could you see what kind of wealth, or was that hidden from you?
What I could see, Steve, is there was pallets, there was pallet racking, there was currencies, there was gold, there was silver.
Wow.
And there was gems, cut gems. Like it was I think there were bonds, there was different things in there. And there was racks, these big warehouse racks, and just full. And so here they were literally inspecting it, validating proof of life, validating authenticity, preparing to move it. Now, the integrity of this team, like this righteous team, I would say was above and beyond. And there was not 1 ounce of greed.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, it sounds amazing, almost impossible in the human condition as we know it. But I mean, these are people that God had been so in their lives, kingdom-wise, that nobody was going to, who was it, the Achan in the camp that took the spoils of the enemy and enriched himself? There was none of that here.
These were like spiritual, these were like financial eunuchs.
Okay.
They didn't dare touch that.
Yeah.
It was not theirs to touch.
And it doesn't even mean, I think I may be right in this. It doesn't even mean that they were not in and of themselves wealthy by this time. It just meant this wealth was not theirs. Wealth was to be stewarded by them, right? Am I saying that?
Correct. They were put in a position of trust to go in an authority to move what had to be moved in the right way.
Wow.
And this is what was happening. So, I mean, the Lord handpicked these ones and prepared each one to carry out literally this, I'm going to say, biblical, historical event. Now, the next thing you know, Steve, I was taken in the spirit and I find myself, at Wall Street on the New York Stock Exchange. And I mean, here I am, I'm on the floor and all this trading is going on. And there was a tipping over.
Whoa.
Basically, this could not be stopped. And the markets basically redlined and just, chaos just kind of started to.
In other words, you're watching a collapse. Am I seeing?
Watching a collapse, watching a crash beyond anything we'd ever seen before. And so as the markets crashed, the traders are going crazy. I mean, beyond panic. And this Babylonian system had hit the wall. And the Lord was bringing it down. And so, yeah, very interesting.
I know you're not quite done with this. Did you have a sense, Barry, of timing where you just saw these people ready to disperse assets, and then the next scene is you're over in Wall Street? Are these like back-to-back events? Boom, boom, boom.
To me, Steve, it was congruent.
Yeah, like all at the same time, or all
kind of. It was kind of happening in congruently. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I mean, also very interesting that you had your first guest on here today, doing what he's doing. I thought that's really, of all the days I come on and talk about this, I mean, that actually made my heart smile.
Yeah. I mean, God sets this stuff up. He's just amazing. So
yeah. So anyway, I was taken, into the spirit again, and I was high over North America, and I could see lights going out. First here, first there. Something bigger was going on, and there are real conflicts kind of that were breaking out here and there. Good and evil kind of clashing. And it was basically kind of at a boiling point, boiling over. And as things were going down, I saw the lightnings of God starting to hit cities and regions. And I saw angelic armies and hosts being deployed, over North America and to the ages and to the nations. I mean, this really, to me, seemed like, the battle of the ages. And, I mean, the enemy had released the hordes of hell to destroy all he could, but without success. And it was now payback time.
Wow.
And the Lord of hosts was coming to recover all. Now, it didn't take long before I saw a brilliant explosion of light, the light of his glory exploding not only across North America, but around the world. And I mean, even places of great darkness were now immersed in the light of his glory. So I saw, nation after nation, rebirth and basically all, for the glory of God. So next thing, Steve, I'm in a room and I watched this new quantum network being switched on, and basically radiant golden beams of light. And they began to jump. Like, I mean, it kind of was like, if I could explain, it was like I was, in a satellite, kind of looking over the ocean, over the earth. And I saw that this light began to bounce first, slowly, one here, one there. And like, this was brand new. Like, I mean, it was like they just hit the switch. They just pushed the button to turn this thing on. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, it was fast. I mean, there's nothing.
So you're saying, sorry to interrupt. You're saying, is it like you said, quantum network was switched on, radiant golden beams of light?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm picturing either electricity or lights and power, or is that what you're describing as electricity?
I believe what it was. Have you ever seen like a fiber optic?
Yeah.
Like it's basically a glass tube or a fiber.
Yeah, so that's communications.
So yeah, and what goes through that? Light.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Light.
It does.
Goes through that. And then this is what I felt this was. These trunk lines, of these cable,
they used to call them fiber optics. Maybe they still do, but it was
something different. But
it was
this
an updated quantum thing.
This was updated quantum thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, with this, there was no room for the enemy to control and manipulate what was now being released throughout the nations. This was what we've been waiting for. Wow. And the Father was bringing his people out of bondage, out from under evil regimes and rulers. They were done. They were finished. So as I was kind of up and I, kind of writing this out like I always do in journaling it, the Lord spoke to me and he said, Barry, tell my people there is so much that you are unaware of. You've been led astray by lies and deceptions of those who you thought you could trust. It is time for the nations to know the truth. It is time for my people to arise and walk in the fullness of the authority I've bestowed upon them. The harvest is at hand, and what you have sown you shall reap, good or bad. And today I implore you to come unto me in humility and repentance, and I will extend my forgiveness and my grace. And from that heart position, I can bring restoration, healing, and deliverance unto you, and I can break every curse upon you. And from that place, I can catapult you into your kingdom destiny. Hear my heart, hear my cry, hear my plea to come unto me today. So, Barry, tell my people that what I'm bringing to them in this moment in history is going to change the nations forever. There is no political plan that will be able to do what I'm about to do. So do not put your hope where it doesn't belong, for it is time to bring my kingdom governance to the nations, and there's nothing that can stop it. I will shake it all, holding nothing back to get things out of the way and to bring things into place. So hold fast unto me like never before, and let's do this together. And holy, holy is the word of the Lord.
Wow, wow, wow. Let's do this. I want to ask you a question or two on this crash. And then I think we probably have time for a Canadian update if you still want to give that.
Yeah, we could do a short one. Yeah.
I want to ask you where you're talking about this thing that where the stock market's going, it's collapsing, it's crashing. It sounds like it's much worse than the Great Depression by what I'm hearing. It's much worse than the stock market crash of 29. Sounds like, but you can correct me. I don't want to put words in your mouth. And then you also use word, this is a battle of the ages, but really shortly after that, you're saying it didn't take long before you saw brilliant explosions of light. And I'm saying, okay, so I'm one of these, because among our hundreds of thousands of people that watch, there's a lot of responsible Christian men and women who have money in the stock market, who have money in their retirement accounts, which is in the stock market. How do they view this, or how should they view this and let's say that all of their stock, their retirement is caught up in what you just described. Is it like a moment in time, and what are you worried about? Because what's on the heels of it is so explosively prosperous that you don't even think about what you just lost? Is it that kind of thing, or what?
I think, Steve, with the passage of time since I released this word, and I've had crazy, like I've had, people come into my life that are kind of involved in a bunch of this.
Yeah.
To be frank, and they've helped bring some understanding to a degree.
Yeah.
And so from my understanding is we've had a system that, we are, with the fiat system, with the SWIFT system, that has been, those have been systems that have been very vulnerable and basically built by the cabal and the deep state. Like we talked about. And then in behind that, even you've got, the printing of money, just like without actually the gold backing behind it. And so what you were talking about earlier is that those old notes that are not, backed by gold,
right?
Basically that value is going to really diminish.
Yeah, we call that fiat. You pronounce it a little bit differently, but we're saying the word fiat, and it becomes there's a saying that says that fiat money throughout all of history has always returned to its intrinsic value, which is zero, because it's paper. Yeah. But if it's not fiat, it can be paper. But if it's backed by gold, it's not just paper, is it? It's paper backed by gold. That's a silver certificate used to be one of those. You could go to the bank and exchange it for actual silver. That wasn't fiat. That was paper representing, I'm showing you this paper, Mr. Banker, you give me gold, so is that, or silver in that case. Yeah. And I think it'll be that way when they change this over too, but go ahead.
Yeah. So what I see, Steve, is as that money system comes to zero or, crashes to, loses its value.
Yeah.
There will be, and there is coming a gold backed currency that I've heard it called rainbow currency in America.
I have heard it called that too. Almost like either unofficially, or maybe they'll call it officially. But we actually showed Barry a picture of it one time 3 or 4 years ago. There's a picture floated to the internet, and so I showed it.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same stuff, but I can't guarantee that it's the same, but it probably is.
Yeah, I saw some video of it, and it looks like Canadian money.
Yeah, and it's vertical colorful. Instead of horizontal, it's vertical, right?
Yeah, that's colorful.
Yeah, colorful.
Yeah, colorful.
For ours, they had a picture of Abraham Lincoln and all that. I'm assuming everybody still gets their own money. Unless you guys are jumping on as our 51st state, you're going to have your own money.
Yeah,
I have no dog in that hunt or horse in that race. I'm just
right. Well, and then so this is, I think, what's happening is we're going to see that Babylonian system come down. We're going to see a gold back, the golden era. Trump's been talking about it for quite some time. We're coming in a golden era. And so, the wealth that's in these mountains that I saw is actually part of what's going to back this stuff up.
And so let me press just a little bit more, and then I want you to talk about Canada for a minute. Again, being a prophet, you give what you have been given, and then sometimes they ask you your opinion. Yes. So I don't even know which of those I'm asking, probably your opinion. But if you're one of those people who is heavily invested in the stock market and your retirement is certainly in there, and this happens, what then should be their feeling? I kind of asked you before, I'll ask you again. Should they say, no worries, kiss it goodbye, because on the heels that we're going to have such prosperity that I'll never miss a penny of it? Will it be like that, or what?
Well, I know for myself, the Lord spoke. I can't speak to anybody else.
Yeah,
I can tell you what the Lord spoke to me. And so basically he had me go in and for myself, pull out everything I had there.
Yeah.
And I took a haircut on it. Like, you take a bad haircut when you do, you do that.
Yeah.
But we got what we got. And
He had you take everything for you. He said, take it all out of the stock market.
yeah, for me, he said, pull everything
Yeah.
and then take your haircut, because what I'm going to give you on the other side of this will far exceed anything that you took, or, any leakage, that you had on
So
that.
yeah, so that's a partial answer too, and you can't give more than the Lord's given you. For me, I have one stock in there, and it happens to be gold mining stock.
Okay.
Or wait a minute, no, I changed that out to an oil stock that I was given a prophetic word about. So we'll see. I trust the guy, but it doesn't have a long history with me, but he's been accurate several times. And so I bought some oil stock it's like a penny stock. It's less than $1. So I got that. And that's what I consider to be like play money if I lost it. Not that I have play money, but I mean, if I lost it, I go, well, it was fun while we tried it. But I don't have anything in the stock market other than that. And my cash in the bank is fairly minimal. It has been put mostly in gold and silver, and I've told people publicly I have XRP, and I'm not I used to hold that back. Now I'm telling people, I'm not naming all the other stuff that I've invested in, but XRP is one that I have a strong belief in. And so I have a bunch of that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. And actually, I also, have seen that one, and I'm in that one as well.
Are you in XRP as well?
Yeah, I'm in XRP. And so through the channels we're involved, we know that's going to be one that's going to be,
Hey, by the way, let me just tell people this while I have you here. That wasn't planning to ever announce this today, but why not? I've been playing with my own Twitter page. It's personal, but it's also like an Elijah Streams page. It's got my wife and my picture on it, the same one that's here. And the actual handle is, make sure I say this right. It's on x.com, and you go Elijah List Steve. All like we used to call it the Elijah List, and that's all we talk about. It says Elijah List Steve, and it's got a picture of me and Eric Trump on it and stuff. And I put stuff about XRP on that, and I put stuff about vaccines, and I put stuff about hard-hitting things. And I've been on this one since 2013. I only have 14,000 followers, but the last month, God's been having me get busy with it. Okay. It's like it's time to grow this thing, and I've got a guy coming in to help me. And I have 3 different Twitter sites, and we're going to pump this thing up in a good, godly way. Good. And we're going to have hard-hitting stuff on that site. So I encourage anybody that wants to come on, be sure you follow me, because then the numbers go up, and the more the numbers go up, the more they send it out. And so you don't want to miss that, because anything that's really hard-hitting, and I may not have the guts to put it on even Rumble yet, you'll see it first on this site from me. and I'm proud of it. And anyone that's halfway paying attention in the last year or two has noticed that I'm getting a little bolder in my old age. I will hit 70 in a few weeks.
No way.
70 years old. I'll be August 20. We will have been married 47 years. And that's a few weeks from now. We'll be married 47 years ago. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I would have never guessed.
Well, I'll tell you what, my joints wouldn't agree with you. But I'm waiting for that turnaround too, because those med beds that we all heard about, they're coming.
They're coming.
And there's a technology, and I've told several people, because we pray for stuff, and then we pray for when these new technology of med beds finally get to the forefront. And I said, Yvonne Atiya is on my guest all the time, and I said, even if God waits to heal this and that in me until the med beds, I'll still glorify him, because it's his technology. It's not man's technology.
That's
so
right.
he gets glory for glory in a glory cloud healing me, or he gets glory if someone puts me in a machine and turns on some vibrations and lights and sounds and pressures and who knows what, and all of a sudden I feel better. It's all God's technology.
That's right.
So giving anyone else credit for it is sort of silly. But all right, listen, let's talk about Canada for a minute. What's any update we need to hear about that?
Oh, well, Canada, we're in quite a spot right now, Steve. As you guys, probably known in the scene that, we have, Mark Carney now as our prime minister. And, he really is like the high priest of the WEF. And, the
Barry, was he really voted in or was he installed?
well, I mean, he
It did not work that way.
well, he initially kind of just got himself in without any democratic process, but they did do an election. A lot of question in that. I mean, over time, they did much like in America, where the vote counts kept going up, and we're going to recount over here, and we're going to like they did. So
That's
so
called an installation of a candidate. That's not a vote in.
Yeah. So
Criminal installation is basically what it is.
But Canadians, they still, see the problem in Canada here, or which just absolutely grieves me, is we've got a conservative party, the Conservative Party of Canada, but they're as liberal as the Liberals are,
Really?
and they're as controlled, and so they're running us down and over the same cliff the Liberals are, just a little bit slower.
Well, we call ours, they use that term over here, down here, how we look at that as the uniparty. Republicans and Democrats alike are in bed together with some of the wicked stuff, including adrenochrome, hurting children, trafficking children. I believe a lot of Republicans will end up being arrested and sent to Gitmo over that. Eventually, I don't know if it's days, weeks, months, or years, but within that time period, we're going to watch some people that we think are all that.
Yeah.
And conservative, and they're going to be in Gitmo or a firing squad.
Yeah.
Or hangman's noose. I don't care what. I don't mind if God saves them if they get saved, but they need to depart this earth and quickly for some of the things they've done. Sorry, but to go
Well,
on.
I mean, and then this is the truth. So the situation in Canada is this: option number one, we become a post-nation state where we're governed and ruled by the UN. And we will be the first, post-nation state in the New World Order. And they've literally kind of said that under this. And so within that, they're protecting 500,000 Chinese troops here. And if we don't think that's true, the American authorities do. And then more than that, we've got, a real problem with an incompatibility with militant, Muslim folks, and I would say Canadian culture, and so we've.
It sounds like a perfect storm, and we have our own perfect storms, but yours sounds even more perfect to me. It's like
and then Kash Patel here a week ago or so, I believe, announced that they're aware that Canada has over 4,000 organized crime groups in Canada, and so ruled and run by the Chinese, Russia, different. Okay, and so they're shipping industrial quantities of fentanyl across the American border, and our Canadian officials, conservative, everyone, they're doing zero about it. But here's the worst thing: is they're also involved with the largest numbers of child and human trafficking, and per capita, I understand that's even larger than America.
really.
And I heard a statistic last week that Biden, during his time, there was 350,000 children brought in from the southern border, of which they cannot account for right now.
I'm telling you, folks, if you don't think our president needs prayer after hearing this report, our president needs prayer, and so, of course, our two nations need prayer so severely. But I believe I have no idea about the state thing and the things that Trump blabs about, because I don't know if he's negotiating or threatening or being clever, but he's trying to clean up not just the U.S., but I think he wants our neighbors to the north to be set free. That's my personal belief. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Steve, I think what he's saying is, Canada, you're not very good neighbors. You've got a bad fence, and you've got a messy backyard. And you're a threat not only to your own people, but to America and the continent. And if you don't deal with it, I will. So,
Well, Barry, that's actually really good to hear you say that, because I've never heard a Canadian say it at all. I'm not even sure until this moment that I was convinced that that's how he felt. But you're a Canadian saying that with passion.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Oh my goodness.
So here's the thing that I believe. Here's the path that I see happening. There are remnant patriot Canadians here that love our country. And as much as we love our American brothers and sisters to the south, we're different. God created boundary stones, and he's given us a different destiny.
Understand that.
And so what we're saying is that we must separate from the crown.
Yeah.
And put a flag in the ground and make a declaration of independence.
It would seem to me that the United States, if the Minutemen would rise up, and Paul Revere would do his thing, and everybody would get on board. Yes. There might be a revolutionary war of sorts, but at least we would stand behind our brothers to the north on behalf of freedom for them and safety for us.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that here in Alberta, the province that I live, we're kind of like Texas. Like if you kind of think oil, cattle, farming, we got other industry too, but we have probably in Alberta kind of the fortitude to stand up and say, and so what we're saying is we may, I think what could happen is if there's an event, we have an economic collapse, Carney and the New World Order, they declare Canada a state of emergency. They step in to help us, in a fire that they just lit, right? Well, at some point, there's going to be a shaking, and it could be the collapse of the dollar because Canada has no gold, which means
you guys don't have any gold?
None, zero. Carney
never had it, or did they just?
Carney got rid of it.
Since he came.
He did it through Trudeau. So here's what could happen. Our dollar collapses. We've got an economic crisis. If we have the right conversation with President Trump and his administration and say, here in Alberta, we want to plant a flag in the ground, make a declaration of independence for a constitutional republic, and declare Canada a new nation 2.0 out of the crown, and we invite every other province to join us.
So you guys could or would or might unilaterally declare yourself independent.
Yes.
Like the U.S. gave their Declaration of Independence, and then you're saying, come hell or high water, guns, bullets, whatever, we're independent.
Yes.
Then that might empower the other provinces next to you.
Yes.
Are there some that would in no way join you?
Do you know what the conversations that we're having, Steve, from the other provinces? Don't forget us here in Manitoba.
Really?
Don't forget us in British Columbia, Saskatchewan. We're with you.
Wow.
In Ontario, don't forget about us. But you see, when this happened in Ireland, like in 1931, there's a little short bit of history. In 1931, out of Westminster, which is the legislature in London, they gave Canada a gift, as well as Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. And they basically said, Canada, we are cutting the ties with the monarchy. God bless you. You're a sovereign people. Bless you. Do your thing.
Who said this to you?
The London, the monarchy, which Canada was under. They cut us loose in 1931. But what happened was the 11th conservative prime minister in Ottawa, they actually thought, that was a pretty good gig that they had going here. why don't we step behind the curtain, pretend to be the monarchy,
Really?
and keep the charade going?
So they pretended that whoever did this, that they were the monarchy and they weren't?
Yes. And so then what happened is, in the West, we're homesteading, we're pulling stumps and cutting trees and trying to plant a garden to feed the They weren't paying attention to legislature coming out of Westminster. So that was never ratified. That gift that came here was never ratified. And so our nation is actually kind of a myth of Canada. And so what we would do in Alberta, we would talk to our American friends, say, here's what we're doing. Do we have your support? And then we wouldn't go to Ottawa. We would go to London with that 1931 legislature and say, we're invoking
because technically you're still under them because it was never ratified, you're saying.
Yes. So we're going to invoke 1931. We're declaring Canada a nation from sea to sea.
Well, do you think, and I think maybe you said it in so many words, Barry, that we better get running here, but do you feel like or believe that Trump was stoking the fire to get you guys to stand up and fight like you're now describing? Is that what his gig was? With all those things that we'll make you our 51st state, and you're saying there's no way we're going to be your 51st state. We'll stand up and fight. And he's like, that's all I wanted you to do, right?
Well, what he's done is by doing this, it has shown our Canadian government for who they really are or who they really aren't. And they're globalists. And they want to bring in nuclear weapons from France to defend us against our American friends. And so we're saying, so Trump played this very smart, but a lot of people are still deceived. They still can't believe that it's as bad as it is. And
well,
so,
I mean, we drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. I've talked about the TV show I used to watch called Due South with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the guy in all red, and he was the most polite of everybody. Even in solving crimes, he was polite, and everyone was clean cut and everyone was well spoken, and maybe they said A here and A there, but other than that, they were just like us, and they love hockey more than we do, maybe a little bit more, and those sort of things. But it was like the Canadians lived in the beautiful country of Canada, and they were polite and nice and well spoken, and a lot of them like to come down here and act in our movies, and we'd like to go shoot movies up there, and we just didn't know all these bad things were happening there any more than we knew they were happening in our neck of the woods either.
Right.
That's what I kind of meant about the slavery thing. Well, Barry, we better get out of here, but this is really fun talking to you. But I wish it was over less serious things. But I am encouraged to hear that Alberta's getting ready to stand up, if that's the case, and whatever we can do. Would you, if they knew you were doing this show from Canada to Canada, would you be allowed to keep broadcasting like you are here?
In all honesty, Steve, there's not a room that we go into across this nation that people don't come up to us and say, we're here because we saw you on Elijah Streams talking about this stuff.
Wow.
Because, Steve, we are being so oppressed, so censored here, that what Elijah Stream is doing, it is far greater than what we're going to owe a great debt to our American friends.
Well, you know what? Right back at you. We're all in this together. It's like, we need each other. We need each other. Total aside, but after my brother walked in front of traffic, and he had been the gatekeeper for 3 other siblings. They had cut my older brother and I off and disowned us. And they disowned us because we wouldn't disown our mother. We just didn't think that was a kingdom thing to do, is disown your mother. Leave an 88-year-old woman to die alone. So we wouldn't do that. Right. Well, when that brother walked in front of traffic, within probably before the hour was out, the other 5 of us are in absolute communication, expressing our love and everything. And what happened was that the gatekeeper who got saved, even Kat said, I think my brother Rob got saved by the skin of his teeth. And she interrupted me. And she said, Steve, Rob got saved by the skin of his teeth. And so he barely made it. But when he got there, the gate was unlocked. And the rest of us siblings, no matter the old rivalries, think Canada and the USA, we're back in touch. We're loving each other. We realize how much we need each other. This is that. This is that.
It
you
is.
know, and the right people or the wrong people, however you look at it, need to be taken out of the way, whoever they may be. And the more of that happens, the more we're going to be in touch with each other as siblings, north and south. You know,
I love that.
So really good. Barry, why don't you do this? Go ahead and pray as we close, and we'll get going here. God bless you.
Well, Father, it is always such an honor to gather together, Lord, as your people. And Father, I pray that every word, everything that was shared here today, Lord,
Yes,
I
Lord.
pray that it would basically do what it needs to do, Lord, that you would breathe on it, that it would fulfill that which you've sent it out to do.
Yes, Lord.
And Father, I pray for all the families, all the hurting ones, all the ones that are, in uncertainties, Lord, just show them your love and your goodness. Father, Lord, you are so loving, gracious, and compassionate. And Father, I'm so grateful for you, and so grateful for our American friends and our Canadian family that is plugged into Elijah's streams.
Yes, Lord.
Lord, and I pray you'd bless each and every one of them. Father, I pray that you would just show them you would not withhold one good thing from any of them. So, Father, take this and hold us and give us wisdom to take the right steps and make the right moves for the days ahead. In Jesus'